We're very excited to have Ralph-Masengill join us, and Mr. Change Agent, back on Big Blend Radio's Quality of Life show today. He's going to talk about the big subject of how personal change can affect relationships. So, like, you know what? Suddenly you start dating someone, and then your friends are like, oh, you're not fun anymore. You don't come with us for a champagne brunch. You're with your boyfriend. I don't want to be friends with you anymore. Or like you go to a college across state, and everyone's like, well, you're not there anymore. Or you take that big promotion, and everyone's like, oh, she did that. So there's so many life changers in the world, and Ralph knows all about that. He is a best-selling author, an award-winning advisor, a coach, a marketing expert, and also one of our Big Blend experts, and we're very happy about that. You can see him in our expert department on blendradioandtv.com, and from there you can listen to his various interviews and articles. But most importantly, go get his latest book. It's in its second printing already. It's called Conquer, Change, and Win, an easy-to-read, fun book on the serious subject of change. Now, you can go to his website, Conquer, Change, and Win. I like to say wine, but I don't have any wine. But it's conquerchangeandwin.com. You can get on Amazon, all those great places. I encourage you to follow him on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, because he puts out so many cool quotes that make you think every day. So welcome back, Mr. Change Agent. How are you?
I am terrific, and it's great to hear the voices of two of my favorite people.
Well, you're one of our favorite peoples, Mr. East Tennessee man. How is East Tennessee? We're in Colorado. We're inching closer to you. Do you notice that? Can you feel the vibe?
Oh, I can feel it. I mean, it's a rumble that I just can't wait to tumble with.
Well, it is a rumble. It's really true. We could be in a football team if we wanted, just because of that, I think. I don't know.
Yes, I carry water better than most people.
So, Ralph, today's topic, I can't believe it. We're going to see you in a couple months. It's like going to happen. Very excited.
It is.
We're going to drive from Colorado and follow the Arkansas River to Little Rock. And from there, it's all the east. We're going to Louisiana, Natchitoches, Louisiana, Springfield, Kentucky to chat with our friend Stephanie and meet with her. Well, we know her and see her again. And then we're going to come out and hang out with you and cause a ruckus. So we're going to cause change in your town.
That is a profound and wonderful reason to come, because we here in East Tennessee probably are better at causing a ruckus than most other folks. And without reservation, let me tell you, we are truly very, very good at it. And I might add, humble.
So, Ralph, today's topic is a big one. We've talked about change over the years with you, and you always talk about the importance of knowing it. You can't ignore it. You must deal with it. Hug that monster.
Yes.
But today we're going to talk about personal change. Not only it's happening, and it could be really a positive change for you, but then the people you're in a relationship with, whether it's a coworker, a colleague, it could be a business partner, it could be your husband, wife, spouse, child, friend. Your personal change can change. Now that is the ripple effect. Is going to happen.
Well, it is, but we need to also remember that when we are going through positive change, others, misguided as they may be, may not see that as positive change.
Oh, I know.
From their perspective, and those who don't listen well, or those who just don't want to change themselves, are the ones that are, generally speaking, the most obstinate about others changing. It's amazing how many people do not want their friends and relatives to change, because it puts pressure on them in many ways.
To make a change. Maybe.
Exactly. If I do something that's a good thing, then that indirectly can put pressure on my peers to do more quote unquote good things. And they may be very happy where they are.
I had this friend for many, many years. We did business together. We were friends. We hung out together. And for whatever reason, when I said I was going to go to Africa, she said, if you do that, I'll never talk to you again. I'm like, oh, come on. I thought she was kidding. And I wrote letters, but that was the end of that. It always astonished me that she did that. Like, I mean, what? I don't get it. So I made a big change in my life, and she got mad about it for some whatever reason. But I don't know, man.
Because you
I know we didn't have
to her life.
You were really putting pressure on her to come up to your standard as they see it. And that in itself is a threat in many cases to certain people.
That's just weird.
Wow.
Well,
I thought it was weird.
There's a couple of other phrases that could go with that that would also work.
This is our quality of life show.
I don't want to be hung up on. I will not say.
But it was weird. I was just astonished that
but things do change. But people, is this now okay? So that Nancy's friend, then she basically was saying, I'm not going to accept change because Nancy changed her life because they were friends and business partners. She changed her life, so therefore, I mean, it almost sounds like she was just stuck in her own world and didn't really. I mean, I wouldn't call that a friend. And at the end of the day, when people can't be happy for you moving to do something you love and care about, I mean, I don't know where that line is. You know, where
no, I think you're 110% correct. If you can't be happy for someone you know's doing or whatever it might be that's happened, a good fortune, whatever you want to call it, then you're really totally off base because you're only thinking of yourself, and that self-centered arrogance will keep you friendless pretty much.
Well, and so therefore you can't. I was going to say you can't really experience change. I mean, you can't handle the change because you're too, like, you know, your head's in that wrong place. I'm trying to be polite.
I understand that, and if you were trying to do that without anybody understanding what you were doing, you failed. Everybody knows.
Well, it was weird.
You're too good a communicator.
It was weird because the change I made in my life really did not in any way affect her, other than the friendship part.
Let me put this premise out. Perhaps that she saw herself as having more control over you than she really had. And when you made this dynamic step without first going 110% back to her and getting her okay to start with phase one, then she is more interested in control than she is in being anybody's friend.
Well, there you have it in a nutshell.
Well,
Mr.
that's
Ralph,
interesting.
change agent, knows how to put it right there in its place.
I feel like that. That's,
you know, we should be doing this
way
like
to look at it.
We should be doing this like a football game. You know, here's that swing there. Ralph puts it right in its place. There you go. But I think it's interesting because change is about control. So if you're going through change, you have to.
That's right.
You can't. You have to like release control to pounce back on it with your own control. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It sure does. And a lot of people don't remember. They forget that positive and negative change cause the same emotions in humans. So
Okay.
if I'm experiencing a positive thing and my friend is experiencing a negative thing because of my positive thing, then you can see how it can really get convoluted. And if you're not real careful, you will indeed put a strain on both friendships.
Wow.
Well, she got married, and I didn't care. I mean, I cared as far as good for you, I guess. But
Oh, well, hello. Here we go. Now
no,
we get
she
the
got
real
married, and I
story.
didn't I'm not going to be
You're-
your friend. You know,
Your
she made
cliches
changes.
are giving you away.
Well, here's the thing
No, but
too.
she got married, and I was like, cool, that's good. Went to the wedding, that's all fun. That's a big change in your life, getting married. I didn't say,
Yes, it
okay,
is.
now you got married, I'm not going to be your friend.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I didn't
and
do
that's
that.
what you should have. You did it correctly, but something happened.
I know, it's weird.
Well, now
It
I
must
remember
be all her fault.
yeah, see, here
I
it
don't
gets
know.
into all that. Well, I remember graduating high school. Half of my friends were engaged, pregnant, getting married, or going to college, and somewhere out were in the military. That's a change. When
That's a big change.
my boyfriend, he
Mm-hmm.
mandatory military service, and at the time, all hell was breaking loose in Africa, in South Africa, Angola, the whole thing, and that was changed.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, our lives were turned upside down.
Oh,
Off he goes,
absolutely.
big
Yeah,
time.
big time.
And he changed. He was not a person equipped to do this.
Mm-hmm.
He went through a lot of emotional things that I couldn't deal with, and eventually we had to part ways over it. But it was that,
Mm-hmm.
and then I go, well, it's a good thing to find out now, because do you really want to sit with someone who can't handle things that way? I don't know. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
That's everyone's
Mm-hmm.
own personal thing with their own relationship things, but it changed our lives. And yes, I was upset for a while, but I was
For
young, and
sure.
I said, on to the next. No,
Oh, well.
no, I didn't mean it that way, but it was like, okay, this
Well, let
isn't
me
fun
ask you
anymore.
this: if you didn't
Because
mean it that way, why'd you say it that way?
Yeah.
it's true. Because I did. I was young. I was just dating. I
Yes,
wasn't doing anything
Nancy,
bad.
I'm so glad you're here. I love
Oh
you.
my gosh! And
You're
Ralph, why do
giggling
you have
in
to
the
ask those
background.
extra questions? Why do you have to ask those extra questions and just
I often
pinpoint
look
it?
at her and say, I'm sitting right here, and I know way more than you think I know about
Well,
you.
here's Ralph. Ralph right now is sitting in. He is the umpire, and he goes. I know he's got that saying of shame the devil, tell the truth, or shame the devil. You're gonna have to tell the truth here. Get real, and that's part of change. You always talk about that. Get real. You can't really hide behind it, and it's true. I dated guys after that, and it was pretty soon, and I was like, okay, I'm done with that now. I've cried my tears. How long do you expect me to cry for? I'm not doing that. I suppose it's good we're not together anymore.
Did this just turn into
let me
Dear
ask
Abby?
you this: do you really have a solid opinion about this situation?
I think I've just spilled my little guts there, but
Well,
I was young.
and I think
I had a
that
good
was
time.
sarcasm on my part. I think you
I
told it
know.
all in a nutshell. Absolutely. Congratulations. True confession is good for the soul.
That's right.
But that's about getting real. And I think, you can know that something's coming. Like, people will put off things that will put off, like, you are either going to have, you've said, I'm going to rent to own this house. You're either going to buy it or you're going to move. And they will put it off. And then one day they don't have that house. Or it could be anything. I'm just putting like that out there. Looking at, there's life decisions that you jump into, and maybe you didn't think it through, and then that change is going to come. And then there's that, I'm going to shy away from that and not taking the change, like accepting the change or embracing it or dealing with it. You can't, it's going to run over you either way. And if you don't, that's also going to put a ripple on your relationships. Like, if you don't
I
go
think that's
and
true.
get that job opportunity, you got a job opportunity, and you have a family to feed, and you don't take that job, and you don't show up for your interviews, your family's going to be hungry and they're going to get mad at you. Just saying.
Well, and rightfully so, because that's a very selfish and arrogant and self-serving way to exist. And there's no pleasure in it in the long run. There's just not any pleasure in it. Charles Darwin said it's not the most intelligent or the strongest that survives, but the one most responsive to positive change.
Yeah.
And that's the key. It's how we respond to change as well as just change. And there is a difference. Well, I changed my way of doing this. Well, is it better? No, but I'm just going to leave it like that. Well, that's what I consider to be a form of laziness.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a bad case of it. I'm taking medicine now. Doesn't help much.
That's funny, because I don't know you as lazy.
What's the cure for laziness?
The
Get
cure
off your
for
butt.
laziness is yes, but what makes you get off your butt? It can be anything from absolute fear to the thrill of a new opportunity, to bringing on an original new idea. All of these things, success doesn't come by itself. It comes with emotions. And it's up to us to provide the solid foundation of the right kind of emotional atmosphere to make sure that change takes place correctly.
And, I kind of feel like all change is personal.
Well, you can be assured of one thing. You get an A today because it is.
Thank you. I want an A. I need one right now.
It's about time. You not getting an A has really affected my relationship with you.
Well, we've been being on the tour is like everything changes all the time. Even to like, okay, we're in a different kitchen. I turn to the right, but everything's really to the left, and you're like, feel kind of dumb all the time. You feel kind of out of your like, those old routines have to go out. And then depending on how long you stay in each place, how fast do you make a new habit? And it's almost down to 1 hour. You got a new habit or not,
Or just stop the habit. You have internal habits.
I mean, it's like being lost the whole time.
Well, all of that's true to a degree, but change does not have to be a habit. A whole lot of change is simply because the universe continues.
That's right. See,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
So we think we generate all the change, and we just do not. We can accept the change we see before us, but that doesn't mean we can change it. But what we can do is we can control it. And that's what so many folks forget is I can control the rate of my change, and I can control what I change, including myself.
Okay, so at the end of the day, this goes down to control and ego and comfort zone.
Well, there's certainly something to be said for ego, but if you don't have control, you have chaos. And of course, Nancy could teach you a lot about chaos because she sees it around you every day. But
apparently.
Well, now, okay, so basically.
I can't help that. I apologize in advance.
No, I thought that
before
was
you
great. It was
send me
well
a
put.
nasty email.
No,
No, we don't do
no
that.
nasty emails. But change is going to come whether you like it or not. It's how you react
Yes.
to it. And so you can embrace it and go, well, I'm going to rock and roll it this way, or you can try to stop it. And when you try to stop it, guess what happens?
Yeah.
Well, first
Big
of all, you
trouble.
can't stop it, but you
That's
can
right.
you can change your position and get out of having to change in a certain direction by going a different direction. If that makes sense. You know, next to the Bible, the most misunderstood thing in this world is change.
Well, it's interesting. I posted the show today on Instagram, and one of our friends mentioned they were like, the only thing consistent in the world is change. And I was like, I got to bring that to Ralph here because he would appreciate that because it truly is pretty darn consistent. It's never ending.
Yes, the only choice we have is we can control that change. We can't stop it. And in many cases, we had nothing to do with it beginning.
Absolutely. We're just innocent bystanders who have to roll with it.
But you can look at it, and don't you sometimes have to go, okay, there's a change here, make a decision whether or not you want to even be part of it, you want to step away. You know, it's like even people's personalities. Like suddenly you're working well with a coworker, and then they become, you know, maybe they're having an affair with the person, you know, in the back room, and you have to decide, do you want to be affiliated with them? Because now we have a change.
Tell us all more.
I know. You know, that photocopier and those printouts came out really interesting. But, you know something's going on.
Okay.
And then that changes the relationships of what's going on at work.
That paints a different picture.
Especially on the photocopy machine, yes. You know. But do they even have those anymore? You know.
Since we may be experiencing a little loss in direction here, Helen Keller said this: "A bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you fail to make the turn."
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Then you're gonna dead end, and that could be painful.
That is either of those choices is something that can cause great pain. Pain is always causing change, and change is always causing pain. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Well,
if you take the wrong turn, it could hurt.
But the thing is, I think that because we're moving so fast in this society, there's more changes more often, and you have less time to deal with them. And
I think that's true. But let's look at something here, ladies. You ladies have become really, really involved in consistent change about everything in your lives in the last 6 months.
Yes.
So you're just by default experts at what happens.
Well,
we laugh a lot.
Okay, so I have to be honest. Anger comes up. You really do have a patience level that goes down to 0 and then becomes really big as well. You fluctuate in patience levels. There's a really interesting thing that goes on, and you have to when you go through a lot of change, if you do not carve out your own time to regroup yourself and get a grip, you're going to continue to be silly or stupid, and not necessarily that people are stupid. I'm just saying your actions may be stupid that you don't mean to. And that, do you hear that, Nancy? I'm just saying. I'm apologizing.
Oh, well, thank you. No, it's called just reacting without thinking. There's a difference between. There's a difference when there's a change and you have a choice. You can think it through and then take a step, or you just automatically react. And when you automatically react, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's really not.
And sometimes you have to.
Well,
If you're on and driving, you have to do it in a split second thing.
mhm.
Yes, well,
So we've
I'm
had
in
to
the
even learn.
passenger seat looking down
Mhm.
at the 8,000-foot cliff, and I'm hoping that you will just react correctly.
Well, there's rules. So you set up
Yes,
rules.
you get religion real quickly that way.
Yeah, you
Oh yes.
do. You're like,
Oh my
oh,
God, I
man.
did. I had a conversation. I was like, dude, I swear I'll do this when I get back to the bottom of the mountain. I will do this. But I think that this is what I just wanted to touch on this. You create when you go into a level of constant change. The reality is
Mhm.
everybody we are obvious change because we travel full time and we're trying to do all these different
Mhm.
things as we do it. So it's a constant juggle. However, the only way to do it is to have serious rules or ways of doing things. So it's internal. I know we talked about this
Mhm.
before we left on the tour with you, and you sent us on our story mission of change. And it's a really
Mhm.
interesting thing because it is about a relationship. You have a mother and daughter, a business partners
Mhm.
on the road in one
Mhm.
car. I mean, hello, stuff's going to happen. And so there's a change as you go through things. It could be directions. We get lost all the time. So everybody, we're always late. And
we
we always set out early. We take double the time, but, it happens.
Mhm.
And you can't
Oh
rely
yes.
on
Well,
GPS, so
I
but
can't find
there's
my way home half the time. I can't.
well, you
I
better
am
call
really
Steve
bad with
Winwood and
directions.
Blind Faith. You got to listen to some
well,
Well,
Blind Faith.
okay,
my
here's a
wife
clue.
Diane doesn't. She refuses to accept that as a reason for me being late all the time.
Well,
Yeah,
you
well,
But
could stop at the gas station and get directions, but
no.
as
Here's
I've
here's
seen, it doesn't happen with men.
here's the tip. Here's the tip.
And neither do I.
When okay, here's the tip. Don't turn the map every time you make a turn. Lisa turns the
Yeah.
map every time she makes a turn, and that's how
yes.
you get
Well, can
lost.
I suggest? Let me suggest three letters. GPS.
No, no, it doesn't
No,
work in rural communities. It will land you in a cabbage patch. It will land you in the middle of
we've been in the
the,
Cabbage Patch.
no, no, because if people don't claim their listing of their business and their things on Google, you could end up on the complete others. You could end up in a different state. And I'm just saying from true experience, GPS works, but you know it doesn't when you're going off on dirt roads and some of the places. I'm just saying, just some experience that it can and cannot. But you handle that. You do both. We do both. We look at maps. We look at GPS. We look at everything we can. But
Mhm.
we going through change. You get internal habits or how to handle things. Things are going to always change. So as we've been going through this, it's like we've had to change all kinds of things, and there's annoyance, there's irritation, there's crabbiness, there's tiredness, there's whining that doesn't get allowed to
I
happen.
can't believe that would come out of you all. I can't imagine
But
that.
we're having
Oh.
extreme joy at the same time. So it's like swing song, wing wing. One time you're here, one time you're here. It's up and down, and so you have to create the balance within and recognize. Oh, you're all happy about this. Oh no, it's gonna. You take that one turn, now it's going the extreme opposite. So it is about
Mhm.
internal balance and internal communication with your partner. So that's what I think about relationships is do you think that when you go through change, if you've developed a strong relationship and understanding with someone, sometimes you have to drop those relationships if they're not good for you or good for them. But I look at it as you're going to have to keep changing until you get to the root of things and balance out.
Mhm.
Does
Yes.
that make
I
sense?
don't know that you have to change your relationships by dropping them as much as you do by more or less texturing them or carving them into what
Mm.
needs to be based on today's needs. rather than what it was 2 weeks ago or a month or 6 years ago.
Oh, okay. I get what you mean. Yeah. So, because, well, look at marriage, okay? Death do us part and all that, right? So this is this big, giant commitment. What are you laughing about? It's a big deal. It's a big commitment, but marriage goes through cycles, and isn't it? It is like a one step at a time, really, for a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You can't always go towards the end.
Well, I've been married for right at 41 years, and it's just been continual bliss.
That's cool.
And next week I'm going to stop lying.
I'm just going like, where's your happy
pills?
You're so in trouble.
Like,
you're going to send marriage pills out to everyone.
Anybody that tells you that is lying through their teeth. Of course, there are going to be differences, and everybody is not kosher in the same way 24 hours a day, but we need to take those differences and see them as opportunities.
Agreed on that, for sure. So when you go through change in a relationship, how much of it is about knowing yourself to be able to communicate that change to everybody to make it work or go where it needs to go?
What I think knowing yourself is a very, very good common sense definition of being who you really are. And the key to being who you really are is using all of the assets each of us as individuals have, and they're not all the same, nor are they all the same in proportion. But the key to this is you, Nancy, we all have certain positives. And if we know that's a positive and we're strong in that particular thing, we need to make sure that we give that an opportunity to be a part of what we're doing each time we change. So, there are things, I don't have a problem meeting people. There are really people of genius IQ that just can't meet people. Just drives them up a wall. In fact, I've worked with some. And the key to this is what we try to do in a very quick nutshell is what's the worst thing that's going to happen if this doesn't turn out like you want it.
Right.
And when you start analyzing that, you'll sit down and find it hard to get more than one or two things that would really happen. And then you got to decide, well, how significant are those two or three things? And then you say, well, that's not really significant. Then you might end up with one, maybe two. But we have a way of, as we say here in East Tennessee, knee-jerking to decisions. And that simply is, first thing comes into your mind, that's what it is, and then you make a strong statement, and for the rest of the 3 hours of this discussion, you're having to back up.
Oh, that can get stinky.
Well, it's never happened to me, but of course, I only speak from experience.
Well, Ralph, you went through a lot of personal change. You've gone through serious personal change in your life.
Oh, absolutely, I have.
And I mean, things in your life have definitely had to impact, family, friends.
Well, yes, absolutely. I mean, I was an absolute jumping up and down, screaming alcoholic. I prefer to use the word drunk for 23 years. And one afternoon, I picked up a double-barrel 20-gauge shotgun and blew my insides apart trying to commit suicide, but I didn't die. I was pronounced dead, but didn't die.
How do you go from that to communicating with that? Because it's such a big deal. And everyone, if you go to blendradioandtv.com, look up Ralph on our expert page, or just type in Ralph and you'll find his articles. We had an interview just about this and talking about his real big personal story of change, which is big. And I think that sometimes when you go through something that big, it's very hard to, when we talk about relationships, it's like you almost you want to die again. Like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to, there's like guilt, embarrassment, all these things that come through that can prevent healing and moving forward. Or do you have to face that one-on-one because alcohol, numbs that sometimes, or you think it does if you're in that zone?
Well, that's true. But I chose to drink the alcohol. The alcohol didn't make me drink. I drank because I wanted to.
Good point.
And the whole key here is alcohol didn't make a mistake. I did. And once I was able to get rid of that addiction, and some people will crawl up in a little ball and say, he said he got rid of his addiction. Well, he did. I say it was with my higher power, but I have absolutely no compulsion to drink alcohol of any kind. I just don't want any of it. I've probably got, in the 2 bars in my home, 100 fifths of liquor. They're probably 30 feet from me right now. And if I had any trouble whatsoever with those being in the house, there would be none here.
Right.
But it has absolutely taken away the compulsion, and that's why I say that's a miracle, because that's as rare as hen's teeth. I don't take it lightly.
I think it's amazing, and it's great because we want you here on Earth. But when we talk about today's topic about how to handle personal change and change, and then how it affects relationships, that change and relationships. Sometimes that's when you have to have like group meetings. You have to look at what's important for both sides, right? Is this a worthwhile thing to do?
I was active in AA for 25 years.
And do family have to come in on that side too? Like, if we're going to have a relationship,
absolutely,
we're all going to have to be on the same page of this, and that's kind of a commitment,
right? That's right. Wow. What my family did was, I thought, the correct way to do it. They said, we're for you. Good luck. If we can help you, let us know. But it's up to you, and we're going to judge you based on your actions, not your thoughts. It's not what you say you're going to do or what you have done. It's what you do every day I want to know about. And that's exactly correct. The right way to do it.
That's good. That's cool. Because
it's all about truth. It's about truth. If I'm going to live in a certain way, why would it bother me if other people wanted to check on that? It doesn't. And trust me, when I first got sober, people were checking on me every day.
You had the nag squad.
Well, be honest with you, I
don't
mean to be braggadocious, but I was a terrific drunk.
No. Well,
Okay.
but but that's a thing. I mean, I look at what's going on across the country, around the world. There's absolutely alcohol
Yeah.
addiction, but people getting into opioids and all of these things, and it does change
Yes.
lives, and it affects people's lives. There's grandmothers
Oh,
taking
yes.
care of grandkids. There's all of this
Yes.
stuff happening, and so when I just want to say this, when you enter into a relationship with somebody,
Mhm.
you've got to think about that too. As you do that, things just grow on you, and if you're stagnant, you just let things grow on you, right? But if you're
Well,
active, you talk
sure.
about action, then you think about who you're connecting with. And some people, it may be, in an office, and that's where you're at, and you may have someone like, every action they take as a ripple effect. It may be that they, let off gas at lunchtime, and that affects you. But as silly as,
Mhm.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, I have to
Well,
bring the
all
humor
righty.
back in. Sorry, but you
Wow.
all of that affects you. But relationships, and I mean meaningful
Okay.
relationships, you're going to have to deal with and deal with change. You're going to
Well,
have to deal with it, or
change
look at not being
change
in
is
that.
constant, and the thing
Yep.
that people forget is change is constant, but we
Mm.
can control change, and that's
Mm.
the very, very good news. It's not always easy, but it's always possible.
Mm.
You really have to be proactive.
Yes,
I like to
yes, you
be
do.
ahead of the game and make a change
Mhm.
before you have to, because then you can
Sure.
make the change the way you want it to be and not be in that panic situation where the
Mhm.
change happened and now you got to scramble. I like to make the change
Mhm.
first. Then it's on your terms, not somebody else's. That
Mhm.
sounds bad
Oh,
probably, but
Yeah.
well, no, but it's
Well,
true.
I'm not a poor person. I'll tell you that. I do very well, but when I stopped drinking, I had uh, $1,500, and that's all I had.
mm.
Well,
And the key was not that I just had $1,500, but it's what I did with the $1,500.
Mm.
mm,
It's not what you have, but how you use what you
mhm.
Mhm.
have.
Oh yeah,
And
you're
that's
so
the
right.
key. And the reason I did well was because I had great folks advising me.
Mm.
People that had been there, people that cared, and it made
Mm.
all the difference.
See, that's
This
the
is
other
not a
side of the coin of
one-man show.
relationships. We talk about
It
the
it certainly is. Yes,
there's
it
the other
is.
side.
It's
Mm.
absolutely
There's some
the
people
key
that
to this.
help not no matter what, they just help. And I don't think our life, we don't get anywhere without someone helping you along the way somewhere. You know.
And if you
I
don't accept that help, it's your problem.
right on.
Well said.
Totally
It's
true.
your fault. You've heard
Mhm.
that old story of the guy on the top of his roof and the water was coming all around. It was a terrible flood and he was up there hanging on to his chimney and water was coming up to his feet and guy came by in the motor boat and said,
Mm.
"Come on, get in." He said, "No, no, Lord's going to save me." And then
Mm.
he stayed there a little longer, and here comes uh, somebody in a helicopter, and they stop on the roof, and they said, "Come on, get in." He said, "No, the Lord's going to save me." And then
Mhm.
all of a sudden, things got worse, and the man drowned. He
Mm.
went to
Mhm.
heaven, and he said, "Lord, what happened? Uh, I prayed and prayed that you'd save me, and I drowned." He said, "Listen, I sent a motorboat and a helicopter."
I like that. I like that. That's so true. That's so
It's
true.
like wakey wakey.
Yep. That's you have to be aware. It's observation. Be aware of what's
Yes,
around you. Yeah. Oh.
yes. But that
Well,
little
it's
silly story is
Funny.
absolutely got a lot of
Mm.
meat in it.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
it does. You know, I used and I don't. Let me put this politely. In Africa, there was always this thing about, run to the churches, the missionaries would run there because then no one's going to attack you there. Well, that is
That's not
completely
true.
bogus. It's like in every author wrote, James Michener, Wilbur Smith, write about this, and it was really a truth. Oh, go there. Meantime, people were there. I mean, it's exactly the same story. There were people there going, here, get in the car, we're going, or get on the horse, whatever it was.
Mhm.
They're going to come and burn
Mhm.
you down. Oh no, we're going into here because
Mhm.
this is how it is. And that
Mhm.
is exactly that mentality of this is how it is, this is how it's always been, and that will never change. Well, phooey on that.
Mhm.
It doesn't work, and people died in these churches. And you know what they did? They did it all across Africa for many years. They're still doing it. Run to the church. That will save us. Meantime, people are going, get in the car. Let's go. No, we're running in there because, no one would ever think of burning down a church. Well, now they shoot them up. Hello. Just want to remind
Mhm.
everybody, I'm not
Oh,
taking a religious
Mhm.
stance. I'm saying that things are never the same. It's never going to be the same. You can hold on to some values, morals, values, that kind of
Mhm.
thing, but you got the rest of it. Those morals and values
Mhm.
are what you're going to play with the world of life, the game of life. It is the game. That really is what life is
Yes.
about. It's a game. So play it and have a good time.
Life life is not what you make it. It's what you make of what life gives you
Mhm.
that life is. It really
Exactly.
is about what you do with the tools you've been given.
Mhm. That's exactly it. I mean, you talked about $1,500 when Nancy and I got to South Africa and from left South Africa, got here because the way we had to leave, we left with $4,000 between the two of us. That's it. Start
Mhm.
over again,
That's a
leaving cars,
that
house.
that's a start over fund that needs some help.
yeah,
Yeah, well, we
no
weren't allowed to take
kidding.
money out. We couldn't take money out. We had to leave that fast. Got
Hey,
here,
can I just say
and we
that
made it.
nobody? I can I just say that nobody told you that when you were going in?
No,
Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
it was
Yeah.
one of those things. You're going to either stay and go through. You don't know what's going to happen, and we had to leave. It was time, and when we got here, and everyone got Nancy's money went to all of her staff. Every employee got 6 months worth of pay, which I think is a big deal. I think that's a lot of,
It is,
well, that's a big
Mhm.
deal.
Did
She
the
had
best
like
I
what,
could.
10, 13
but it is a
employees.
big deal.
That
It
is a
is.
big deal. She paid everyone. They got the money, and we bailed, and we didn't know what was going to happen to us. But as soon as we hit
Mhm.
ground, we stayed at our uncle's for like a few nights, and within a week, we both had jobs. We had a car that really didn't run very well, but we knew we could make the A to B. We had a place to live, and we made it work because you
Mhm.
really, if you play, we have a choice. Yeah, you do, but you have a choice to thrive or live or survive, and it's up to you to do it, no matter what the circumstances. You can't wait
Yes,
and
it
say life
is.
ain't fair. You can't. You
Mhm.
can't. And you also sometimes cannot let toxic relationships get in your way of surviving, thriving,
Absolutely.
living.
Well, you've heard of this thing of when you don't have orange juice, make lemons a part of
Mm.
your
Yeah,
situation and make lemon juice. Well,
yeah.
the truth is you may not have lemons either, and the best thing for you to do is to learn how to drink water and enjoy it.
I like water. It's important. It's important in high altitudes, I've learned recently.
Mhm.
When you're
Mhm.
driving on big mountain passes up there at 14,000 feet, you need water. And it's really true. It's about what you have. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's about your perspective. It's really
That's
about it.
exactly it.
Yeah,
And
your
and
truth is your reality.
I'm like you. I really like water. I think
I do too.
it it does all the things it's supposed to do, but in
Mhm.
addition to that, it really is refreshing, I think.
I
Yeah.
like water. Yeah. It's and you can't have wine without water. just saying.
No, and as long as I don't have to take a bath, I'm fine. But I don't mind drinking water. But I mean, don't press me.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Ralph, always such a good time with you on the show. We can't wait to see you. It's going to happen this summer.
Yes.
I'm
it's
looking
going to be forward to it.
Off the hook, everybody. But again, everyone, go to Ralph's website, conquerchangeandwin.com. Go get his book. It's in the second printing, which is exciting. We're waiting for,
that's cool.
You have the second one, so we're already looking at the third printing. That's kind of how we are. But again, it's Conquer, Change, and Win, an easy-to-read, fun book on the serious subject of change. And, of course, we've had really a serious conversation, but it is. It's important. So, again, go to Conquer, Change, and Win. It's Ralph-Masengill, Jr. And, Ralph, your song today, we like to play music for our guests here, it's from the album Conversation. It's by E.G. Vines. Everyone can go to eggvines.com. He's based in Nashville. And so we wanted to get into the Tennessee spirit. It's on the west side,
right.
but, I know you like Tennessee as a whole. This song is called Me and You. And it's about, the whole album is about everybody's fighting each other. Just have a conversation and find the common ground, And we're talking about relationships
that's what
and
it's
change.
about.
Exactly.
It is about that.
Yeah. So here it is.
Well, that's true. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think you're going to like this. So here we go. Me and You from E.G. Vines. Thanks, Ralph. We'll see you soon.
Bye,
yes,
Ralph.
Indeed.
You take care.
Okie doke.
Try love. When you die a little more, will it be enough? As you walk on past the door that's opened up, and it leads to love. Before you march down in that street, the words held up. Will you look me in the eyes and say as much? 'Cause I don't think this world has ever looked so rough, and we need love. Well, all this division into the words that we use, the lines for no reason between me and you. Well, I won't believe that this is the best that we can do, so I'll keep believing in me and you. In me and you. Dragging down another's name to raise yours up. Is that all we care to